please join me in welcoming the chairman of the board of MPTF, Jim Gianopulos.
Thank you. That's nice. Thank you, Adam, and thank you all for being here. You know, everyone who's involved with MPTF has a unique story that speaks to the why of their involvement. And for me, it began over 20 years ago when Jeffrey Katzenberg, who of course we're honoring tonight, invited me to the dedication of the Fran and Ray Stark villas on the Wasserman campus in Woodland Hills. And Jeffrey wanted me to see what the MPTF was all about. And like many people, I knew it in concept, like many people, but I didn't have a full understanding of the scope of the fund's mission. And I got it that night. I remember a number of the residents spoke at that event. But it was the words of one woman, her name was Ethel Wynant, that stayed with me and really just propelled my involvement all these years. She was in her 80s. She was frail, but beautifully articulate and still spry. And she recounted her background in the industry. And she said, you know, she rose from a job as a secretary and became the first senior woman executive in television when she became a CBS vice president. And she said, and vice president in those days was a big deal. It's true. And by the way, she was inducted into the Television Hall of Fame in 1999, shortly before she died. Ethel Wynant. But Ethel talked about, you know, her time at CBS and all the years she worked there and going up the food chain, and said there was a regime change at the top and they wanted her own team and she lost her job. I'll never forget, she said, those things happen. This is the nature of our business. I understand how it works and I accepted it. And then with no self-pity, she said, I just didn't expect to live this long. And in that moment, she had me. I was fully engaged. You know, hearing those words were the catalyst for my commitment, and because it's the nature of our industry. Even the most talented people like Ethel can find themselves in need through no fault of their own. That's why we have the unique obligation to give back to those in our community. You know, it certainly applies to those that need the support as they grow older and infirm, and the home in Woodland Hills certainly provides that comfort. But as you heard from Adam, the home is not all the MPTF it's about. It's so much more for those on both sides of the camera, and even especially in their working years. You know, all you need to do is walk on a film or TV set and you can quickly understand how many people it takes to make our entertainment possible. Hundreds of workers putting in long hours, traveling long distances to set, spending weeks away from their family on location, many cases performing really hard physical labor. They're the unsung heroes whose careers rarely follow a straight path. Those of us in the business know how it goes. The studio pushed the start date of the movie or the series. The script isn't ready. The star isn't available. And yet, for those standing by to work, the mortgage payments and the college payments are due. And MPTF is there to help. Now, you'll hear more about that this evening as we celebrate the great work of the MPTF for a century. And speaking of centuries, now here's a message from a legend of our industry. He's a century old last year, the oldest living Oscar winner, former director on the MPTF board, we have him back in a minute, and former Academy President, Walter Mirisch.
I was the chairman of the Motion Picture and Television Fund's 50th anniversary celebration. And I'm very pleased that tonight we are commemorating our 100th anniversary. Over the many years which I have been involved with the fund, we work to ensure its growth. I am proud our mission has not changed. We take care of our own. I am very confident in the next 100 years, our mission will still be, we take care of our own.